Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here today for the webinar, What We Can Do for Forest. I'm Itsumi Hishinuma, the Secretary of the ICA-AP Consumer Committee and staff of International Relations Department of Japanese Consumer Cooperative Union. I am a moderator for today's webinar. Before opening the webinar, I would like to remind you the webinar will be recorded, and I would like you to mute yourself when you are not speaking. I appreciate your cooperation. Now let me start the webinar. Today's webinar, What We Can Do for Forest, is hosted by ICA-AP Consumer Committee in collaboration with the ICA-AP Committee on Youth Cooperation, ICYC, and ICA-AP Committee on Forestry. The goal of this webinar is to increase our awareness, learn the current situation of the global forest, and think seriously what we can do to tackle the forest issues together. To do so, we are welcoming 5 panelists today who will kindly share their knowledge and experiences in forest areas. So thank you for coming today for all the panelists today, despite your busy schedule. And before I will give you today's schedule, I would like to have an opening remark from Mr. Baru Iyer, the Regional Director of the ICA-AP. Mr. Iyer, may I have your opening remark?
Thank you very much, Itsumi. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, it's clear. Okay. Yeah.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Members of the ICA-AP Consumer Committee, the ICYC, the Youth Committee, and the Forestry Committee, and distinguished guests and participants. Welcome to the webinar themed What We Can Do for the Forest. I am pleased to see that this webinar is being jointly organized by 3 of the ICA-AP committees on this important topic. Addressing global challenges requires us to work in collaboration and cooperation. And so this joint organizing is a welcome initiative. And of course, we are also bringing in external stakeholders, which adds to the collaboration element of this webinar. I was going through an article in the website called Our World in Data. And there it was mentioned that 10,000 years ago, 57% of the world's habitable land, or 6 billion hectares, was covered by forest. Today, only 4 billion hectares are left, meaning the world has lost 1/3 of its forest, an area twice the size of the United States. When we look further into this data, we find that 10% of what we had lost was in the first half of the period. That means until 5,000 years ago. At the turn of the century is when the global forest loss reached halfway point, meaning half the total forest loss occurred between 8,000 BC and to 1900. So the other half of the loss just occurred in the last century alone. In just over 100 years, the world lost as much forest as it had in the previous 9,000 years. So there are 2 things. One, that deforestation has been happening over a long time, but it has accelerated due to increase in population, demand for food and material, be it construction, be it agriculture, demanding more land. So forests have been rapidly being denuded. So tree plantation is seen these days as one of the ways to offset loss of forest cover and address climate change, as trees store carbon, help provide clean air, prevent soil erosion, give shade and shelter homes, which in turn reduces energy costs and gives people an overall sense of well-being. So we must definitely plant more trees. But at the same time, I think we need to be thoughtful in the way we go about planting. And there are a few reasons for this. One is too much focus is given on number of seedlings planted. So we hear these numbers about 1 million trees, 1 billion trees being planted. But we need to give as much time to see whether these seedlings which are planted, these trees which are growing, are they there for the long term, or are we just planting them and forgetting about them? So that's one aspect which we need to give importance. Also, we need to make sure that we give enough emphasis on different types of forest sequester. For each tree gives out different amounts of carbon, so we need to be sure about what type of trees we plant and where we plant. And we also give there is too much talk about trees and not enough about other carbon storing ecosystems. So planting trees, while local, can have global impact, but just planting trees is not sufficient. Along with this, I see that we need to educate, because a lot of the consumption patterns have changed over the years. So we are consuming much more, we are conserving less. So how do we educate, be it our members, be it the general public, about our consumption patterns and what effect are they having? So the Consumer Committee has an important role to play. How do we involve youth, as they are going to be the ones who are going to inherit this fractured earth? So again, the role here of the youth committee to bring in more youth, to educate them, to involve them becomes important. We also need to be sure how we design, meaning we not just plant trees at random, but which type, where, and how we take care of these trees become important. And I think here the Forestry Committee has an important role to play in guiding how these tree plantations happen. And finally, we need to innovate in agriculture, innovate in all aspects, because one of the reasons, like I said at the beginning, is that the forest cover is being lost because we need to produce more to eat. So how do we improve our agriculture productivity, reduce land use? So innovation becomes very important. I look at the lineup of speakers, and we have very interesting speakers bringing in different dimensions. So I would like to thank each one of them, from Ms. Jaco Fung from FSC Asia and Pacific, Dr. Mohammad Azlan Yahaya from ANCAS, Vice President ANCASA, Ali Reza Benefit, the Chair of ICYC, Mr. Takashi Kobayakawa, Executive Officer from the Tokai Co-op Business Federation, Mr. SP Singh, Managing Director of Iffdc Limited, and Mr. Akihiro Yamakoshi, the Chair of the ICA-AP Consumer Committee. Thank you very much for devoting your time to educate us on this very important topic. So my thanks to you all. And I'd like to thank all the participants who have taken the time to join us today. I wish the webinar all success and hope the campaign takes root and grows wide. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Iyer, for your inspiring message. And I hope we can make today's webinar a very meaningful one. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now let me share today's schedule. As you can see here, each panelist today has 15 minutes to speak. As a first speaker, we invite from outside of the cooperative sector and an expert in forest areas. Ms. Jaiko Fang from the Forest Stewardship Council Asia and Pacific will explain the current global forest problems and about FSC certification. Then we have second to fifth speakers from cooperative sectors who will explain how cooperatives have made efforts on forestation in various ways. Then in the last part, we have question and answer sessions for participants for 15 minutes. So this is our schedule for today. Okay, then I would like to move on to the presentation part and give the floor to our speaker, Ms. Jaiko Fang. She is a head of market department of FSC Asia and Pacific. She will give us the overview of the current situation of the global forest and what FSC is. Now, Ms. Jaiko, please start your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Isumi. Thank you so much for inviting FSC from ICA. And also thank you so much for Mr. Mr. Iya, that you gave a very good introductions and the very comprehensive overview of the forest. And you also mentioned about the afforestation, forest plantation, that is like, we have to be careful. That I totally agree with you, because like with FSC here, that we are here to help you and help all the businesses and the forest manager to protect the forest with the responsible forest management. So today I would really like to talk about is how we are going to work with the consumer together and also with you all to protect the world forest. So and this is how we are going to talk about the forest as the first topic, that with the forest here, we should have the responsibly manage the forest, and we use the forest resources responsibly from the forest producer side, forest product producer side to the consumer side as well. So my name is Jaiko Fong, as Isumi-san just mentioned, that I'm based in Hong Kong at the Asia Pacific Regional Office. That FSC is headquarters in Bonn, Germany, and as Mr. Iya-san also mentioned, that deforestation had happened long time ago. So I also got the information, which is like 1/3 of the world forest being lost already since 1750. So in the recent years, that the in 15 years, like for example 1980s to 1995, that we have lost 180 million hectares of forest, which is equivalent to around 5 times of Japan's the whole country area, as the country areas of Japan is around 37.8 million hectares. And then all the time that when the deforestation has been ongoing, then there was the Earth Summit in the Rio, that in 1992, that the delegates there and the government over there not able to come into an agreement on how to deal with deforestation issues. And so FSC was born right after that Rio Summit, because the delegates from the Rio Summit, they are from the business, they are from the environmental side, and also the social organization that they formed together to create the FSC, Forest Stewardship Council. And FSC was officially born in 1994. Now it's the headquarters in Bonn, Germany. It is the market-based solution to protect the forest by promoting sustainable forest management worldwide. We would like to have the world forest being able to manage responsibly and well managed in the responsible way. So with the value of forest, that I think Mr. Iya also mentioned, the value of the forest, that it covers a lot of biodiversity terrestrially, and then like every 100 hectares of the forest may be the home of over 1,000 species. And it's also have a lot of people, like 160 million people around the world, that depending on the forest for their livelihood, because of the forest products that are essential to the livelihood of all people and animals and the species in the forest ecosystem. And also the fresh water also mentioned, and carbon sequestrations, because of deforestation And also the forest degradations are responsible for about 20% of the greenhouse gas emissions. And this is the overview of the world forest currently that we got it from the FAO 2020 report. That the top 5 countries with the biggest forest areas are the Russia, but Brazil, Canada, and United States. Also, China in Asia is also covered. And then for the rest of the Asia, that top 10 include Australia, India, and also Indonesia. And then Japan actually ranked at the 23rd. So it's actually quite big area in this region that you can find. And then for the deforestation, again, that has been happening. And then for the estimated area since 1990, the loss of forest about 420 million hectares, which is about 11 size of the Japan country area. And you can also find that we have been putting a lot of effort to do the afforestation and we plant the forest, we generate the forest. And it looks like that during the 2010 and 2020, the afforestation rate and the forest area gained back gradually in Asia area, but then in a lot of areas that around the world that they have the negative loss from the forest area in different regions as well, like Africa and Latin America, that you can see from the graph here. So we would like to use Iffdc as a nature-based solution to tackle the problems from the deforestation, forest degradations, and illegal logging. And this is like, this all could be caused from the direct result of demand for the forest resources, because we need the forest resources to produce the wood products, paper products, packaging, different kinds of forest products that we have been using daily, and we can see around us as well. And also it could be the byproduct of the land clearance of the plantations for commodities as well. Demand for land for agricultural product productions, like the conversions of the high biodiversity natural forest into the single plantations area, or other agricultural products like the palm oil and also the corn. These are the causes of the deforestation that we can actually see every day and use this product and consume these products every day. So with the solutions of Iffdc standard to protect the forest, which is the most rigorous and trusted forest certification scheme around the world, that Iffdc can help forests remain deforestation free, and then to keep the biodiversity within the forest, Iffdc certified forest area, and effectively to contain the carbon as the storehouse for the Iffdc certified forest. On top with the, also we have the ecosystem services verifications procedure to help the forest to add value on the carbon, on the water restoration, on the soil and the ecotourism as well. And we could help the operations for the forest manager with working in the forest in a harmony with indigenous people, local communities as well. So as a lot of people also live in the forest area, as I just mentioned, and also Iffdc could use the certifications tool and the policy and regulations to keep the forest healthy and resilient. Okay, and we are actually the Iffdc is the standard setter. We are the international NGO membership organizations around the world that we have over 1,000 different organizations, individual members from organizations and individuals, and these are the membership, and the membership is actually covering 33% of the business, 33% of the environment, and also from the social as 1/3 as well. It's all made up as the Iffdc, and then you can see there is 1% left. So that would be everything else about the forest neighborhood, and the whole forest ecosystem. That is also implemented in the not just about the FSC governance, that the memberships is like having the balance of the environmental, social and economic chambers, but hold FSC requirements for the forest management is also covering this these important elements in our FSC certifications and the requirements throughout the FSC system. So with the support from the ENGO, we are also the members of the ISIL Alliance, the ISIL Alliance with the international ethical standards, certification standards to governance. And then the ENGO includes the WWF, Rainforest Alliance, the Nature Conservancy, that they support FSC as the gold standard in the forestry certification. We also support by different big brands that you can see some of the example here. Just in Japan, that we have over 1,000 of companies and brands that they are subscribing FSC promotional license to use the FSC trademark legally to promote the FSC certified and label product that they might be using or they might be selling to the consumer. So these are some of the examples here you can find, like the Patagonia, that they have the FSC natural rubber wet sheet, and also the packaging that they have been using is FSC certified paper as well. So around the world, the FSC Consumer Insights by 2021 surveyed by the GlobeScan that they find 56% of global consumer actually recall seeing FSC label on the market and around their daily livelihood, right? And so this is like being found that no other certification scheme in the forestry test became higher globally, like FSC awareness, FSC label awareness. And then for the FSC, we have global presence in the in different countries. I just learned that from our global staff meeting yesterday that we have to reach out in 90 countries with FSC representative presence. So in this region that we have actually 10 countries across the region having the FSC presence that you can see here. For example, FSC Japan, that my colleagues actually based in Tokyo. And then we have the regional office in Hong Kong and the FSC China in Beijing. We also have Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Greater Mekong region that the focus will be in Bangkok, Thailand. We also have colleagues in India. And then we have Korea as well. That the Korea office was just set up in on the August 1st, 2019. So we have been working with different brands and association organization partners. We recently signed the MOU with YG Entertainment, who is the entertainment management of Blackpink, the very popular K-pop group that managed by the YG, that we are trying to work with this YG management to promote the FSC label product to Korean consumer and also to the wider consumer level, like the APEC and also internationally, as they have a lot of popular K-pop groups that being followed and being liked by different youth and the teenagers and different age groups as well. So this is one of the latest developments that we try to work with different organizations and partners to promote FSC responsibly manage the forest product with the FSC label on the packaging, on the paper, on the wood, to promote the responsible consumer behavior to the younger generations. So around the world, I would also like to talk about FSC certified forests and the distribution that you can see here by region. That in our region, that Asia Pacific, we have 8 million hectares that has been certified to FSC forest management certification scheme. And then around the world, that we have 290 million hectares across 81 countries with being certified as the forest management area. And then around the world that you can also see the regions like the, for example, the Africa and Latin America, that you see the net loss of the forest in the forest deforestation graph that I just showed you, right? And so we have also 9 million of the FSC certified area in Africa, and also in Latin America, that we have 17 million hectares of certified areas in that region as well. So in order to fight against the deforestation together with different region colleagues at FSC, then we also worked with different network, different partners and organizations, consumer associations and association like you guys, ICA and ICYC, to promote the responsible forestry to the consumer side, and also the business, and so the business can produce a lot more responsibly managed forest product instead of using the illegal and deforestation forest product to produce the forest product for the consumer. Yeah. So for FSC, that we have 2 certification schemes in the certifications system. So the first one is the forest management. The forest management includes the 10 principles, which covering the legality requirements, which is the principal one, and also the economic requirements, social requirements about the indigenous people, the community relations, that the worker rights also include, and then the environmental requirements covering the high conservation value, long-term management plan, make sure the harvesting is the ongoing process, not just harvest and then go away to leave the land alone as an abandoned land. And then monitoring and assessment on social side and economic, environmental side is also important for the forest manager to do. And we value the environmental impact for the social, for the operations in the forest. So the that's why that we have the free prior informed consent for the forest neighborhood to understand the operations of the forest, so that they will be notified when there will be the harvesting going on in the forest, and if there will be like any operations that will be notified to the affecting the neighborhood of the forest, and the communities in the forest area would be notified as well. And so that will be the whole thing about the forest management to become a well-managed forest or a responsibly managed forest. Okay, and then around the world, as I mentioned, that we have totally 219 million hectares being FSC certified, and you can see on the right-hand side that will be the growth and the a little bit fluctuate in the from 2020 to 2020, 2021 to 2022, because one country's workers requirements not aligned with FSC, and so the whole country's FM certified area being taken away. And so that's why there is a drop that you can see here from 2020 first to 2022. Yeah. So and then in APAC region that we have about 8.26 million hectares of certified forest. And then in Japan that we have 419,000 hectares being FSC certified. You can see the dark green ones are the FSC certified area that you can find in different provinces in Japan. Okay, so that will be for your information how much FSC certified area and where you could find the FSC certified area among Japan. Okay, and then the second certification system is the chain of custody. So once the standing forest being harvested, that they need to implement the chain of custody, so that you can see here, for the example, the certification code is actually FN/COC. That means the forest has to be implement the chain of custody to chase the standing timber being harvested as the log, tree logs, wood logs, to go downstream to the sawmill, to the factory, processing company, and distribution trading company, they all need to get the chain of custody certification in order to maintain the unbroken supply chain that you can see here. For example, if the factory here are not FSC certified, then they would not be able to continue to supply these further processed semi-finished wood product or paper product to the subsequent supply chain. So the processor here would not be able to produce the FSC certified product anymore. And that's why we need to have the whole value chain being FSC certified and unbroken in order to produce the end product with the FSC label on the wood product, on the paper product, packaging product, non-timber forest product like the natural rubber or bamboo. Okay, so this will be the example to show you the COC certification. And for the COC certifications has been growing in the world and also regionally. APAC is now the biggest region COC certifications in the APAC around the world in this region. So you can see actually back in 2018 that we still have 36,000 of COC certificate around the world. And then now we have over 50,000. Over 50,000 is as of the 1st of May. So we still have the rest of the years to grow the COC certifications. It's because the market demand from FSC certified materials and products are increasing. So that's why you can see a lot of FSC COC certificate holder around the world and especially in this region. And you can see China is the biggest countries with the biggest FSC COC certificate holders around this region. And then in the region that we have over 38% of the COC certificate holders around the FSC certification system. And so it's about 22 certificate that 22,000 certificate holder in this region here, you can see in the figure. And then just in Japan that we have over 9,100 of COC certificate, close to 2,000 actually. So a lot of cert holder in Japan as well, that they produce a lot of paper products, packaging products, and wood product, furniture products that would be importing materials from outside of Japan to produce the wood product and then further processing into the finished product and export to US and also other countries as well. So this would be why that we need to look at the supply chain, because the materials coming from different forest area, not just in your own country, but you could source from different countries for the forest resources. That in a way, maybe for example, like Hong Kong, that we don't have any protective forest, but we do have country part, we do have forest, but the forests are not productive type, that we don't use those to produce any wood product or paper product, but we source a lot from other countries and outside of Hong Kong. And so we import a lot of forest materials that we need to pay attention. If the sourcing of the wood product are legal, if the wood product are ethically, responsibly manage the forest products, then that consumers should also learn about this importance. That's why they need to look for the FSC label product on the market and on the shelves. Yeah, so here is the FSC label. So as the finished product being produced, that they are eligible to put the FSC label on the product. So we have 3 types of label for the certificate holder to put the label on the FSC certified product to illustrate the FSC status of the forest-based content. Like for 100%, which means 100% of the materials coming from FSC certified sources. So align with the 10 principle that you have just seen and I introduced. And then the FSC mix, which means at least 70% of the materials contain FSC certified sources from the forest, which aligns with the 10 principle. And then the rest of the materials, like the rest of the 30% would be either from the eligible recycled fiber or control wood materials that we don't consider as the FSC certified, but they align with the requirements of the with due diligence on the risk assessment to exclude the sources from uncontrolled materials like the with the conflict of the genetically modified organism. They have conversion in that forest would not be able to become the control wood, and also the conflict about the labor and the conversion. So these are the requirements to become FSC control wood materials, and to combine with the FSC 100% that makes the FSC mixed product. So I actually have the example here as the FSC mixed product label. It's the popular drink in Hong Kong, the lemon tea. So this label, I hope that you can see this label. That is the FSC mixed label on the pack. Or you can actually see the example on the screen on the left, that we have the paper products like the Japan post office, that in the beginning of the new year, that you have the postcard to celebrate your new year for the tiger, that the postcard are all FSC certified, and then also with the cup noodles packaging and the Hayami forest, we made the forest coaster, that they are actually the first FSC certified forest in Japan. And they were also having the filming site for the wood shop of the Japan film, the movie that you might have watched before. And then the last one is the FSC recycle. So recycle is about 100% reclaimed materials inside the product, not having any virgin materials contained in the content. Okay, so it has to be, if the paper product has to be some composed of the post-consumer reclaimed materials plus the pre-consumer reclaimed materials, and add up as 100%. For the recycled wood product, there is a threshold that the certified company needs to meet, which is the 70% of FSC's post-consumer reclaimed wood, plus the pre-consumer reclaimed wood with 30% to make up 100% of the reclaimed wood to produce the FSC recycled wood product. Okay, so these are my brief introductions about the wood product label. And then you can also see the corner information that Japan's FSC logo awareness is about 21%. Back in 2020, with the organizations doing the survey with the consumer about different certification scheme, and then FSC logo awareness is like raised a little bit from the past few years, from 18 to 21.9%. So we realized that we need to educate more about the consumer, because about 61% of the interviewee that they can recognize FSC logo, but they don't really understand the meaning behind the FSC logo. So that means we need to do a lot more education work to educate the consumer, the public, about the real meaning of the responsibly managed forest and why they should choose the FSC label products instead of others. Okay, and this is why the meanings is so important of the FSC label, because it matters for the forest and people and wildlife. So no deforestations from the FSC label products, environmental protection, indigenous people right, respected local community being in harmony in the forest area, and fair wage and the work environment for workers are very important as well for social issues, so that the workers will receive the training, and the employers have to ensure the decent wages and the minimum wages according to the government requirements as well. So these are some of the important reasons why we need to look for the FSC label. And here I would like to show you the video to explain the different FSC label products that you can find around yourself, and the importance of the FSC certifications and the meanings of it. Thank you so much. that's why that I would like to show you the video. This is what we use to engage with the business side to help us to communicate with the consumer-facing products with the consumer. So this is why that so many consumers need to pay attention, because one small action that could be a very profound impact to the forest that we have been using the resources from. So other than the consumer side, that we also worked a lot with business. So with the business side, that Iffdc Asia Pacific regional colleagues and the team here, that we engage with the FAO, the UN RED organizations, the program that they have, the Lower Mekong Initiative for the Sustainable Forestry Initiative in the region, to educate the business about the responsibly manage the forest and responsible forestry and legal forestry as well. So our aim to work with the FAO, the UN RED program, is to raise the government and business awareness of the benefits of the responsible tropical timber trade, because that we realized that the business not really knowing the importance of the illegal timber trade and the impact to the deforestation. And so we would like to let them know more about the responsibly managed forest and the legal timber trade that could bring a lot of benefits to the business. And so we could then increase the demand from the brands and the retailer side, and with all the commitments to legal and sustainable trade and investment in FSC certified forest product in Asia Pacific region. And it also contributes to our global strategy objective by increasing the natural forest, tropical forest area, and also area managed by the smallholders. As you know, that smallholders are very important in these regions for a lot of timber productions and the non-timber forest product productions in Lower Mekong region, in Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, India, and also the Malaysia as well. So this
Ms. Fang, sorry to interrupt you. We are running a bit late, so can you start to conclude?
I will be finished. Thank you. 1 minute.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so that would be the target for us to reach the 50 million hectares by 2026. And these are the overview for outreach that we are going to do in this year. And you can also scan the QR code here to learn more about the information about the activities that we have. And because of time, I'm not going to explain in details. And so thank you so much for your attention and time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, Ms. Fang. And sorry for interrupt you.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Time to you.
It's okay. Okay, so I was surprised that 420 million of forest has been lost since 1990. It's such a short period of time. So I think which one of us must imagine how our behavior affects to environment, and we have to take actions, including choosing environmental friendly products such as FSC. So your presentation definitely increased our awareness towards the forest issue. So thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And we would like to hear more about your presentation in the question and answer sessions. Okay, thank you, Ms. Fang. So now let's move on to the second speaker, Mr. Alireza Banaifer, the chairperson of the ICA-AP Committee on Youth Cooperation, ICYC, and he is also the International Affairs Manager of Iran Chamber of Cooperative. Unfortunately, he cannot come today for this webinar, but he kindly gave us a video message. So I will share his video so we can learn about ICYC and ICYC's program, Go Green campaign. And Go Green campaign is started in 2018 by ICYC with the aim to encourage the involvement of youth and cooperative to environmental issues. Under this campaign, ICYC has conducted several events to promote sustainable environment. So I will share his video.
My name is Ali Reza, and I'm currently responsible for the Youth Committee in Asia Pacific. So I'm very happy to be with all of you and to share with you such an important message that I have on behalf of the ICYC. So before going on, I would like to allow me to share my presentation. So in this presentation, I will be talking firstly on the importance of the Youth Committee in our region, and also later on, I will go about the activities that we have had so far about the Go Green campaign and other activities. So in 2000, the year 2000, we started the activities named as the ICA Asia Pacific Youth Cooperation, or as we call it, ICYC. And firstly, it was a very small group of people coming together with different ideas and different mindsets. But then we tried to give it some kind of attention and some kind of importance so that members can also be benefited from membership of the committee. In ICYC, it is very important so that we have an exchange of knowledge and experience, and also the capacity building happens for our members in Asia Pacific. So it's actually bringing members' participation in different levels. So we try to ask different members different kinds of activities and different responsibilities, so that they can feel the main participation of becoming a member. And at the same time, we are also negotiating with other countries and organizations and other members of authorities in different countries, so to increase the awareness of the activities that we are doing at the ICYC. The platform for the ICYC is actually a very good platform, so that members can also be informed about the importance of the democracy among youth. And at the same time, it will be an opportunity for the business activities, and at the same time, a networking of the cooperatives where these youth are included and active, and they are active in. So currently in ICYC, I have the honor of being the chairperson of this committee, and I have two very good vice chairpersons. We have Dulce from Philippines, and she is our vice chairperson for the committee, who is also a very active person and always bringing new ideas and new creativities to the group, and she's totally devoted to the activities of this committee. Then we have also Mr. CJ from also Philippines, and he's helping us a lot, especially in the social media appearance and how we can move forward with the activities that our members are feeling with. And of course, and the last but not least is our secretary of the committee, who is Mr. Shri, has always been a very important helpful person for the activities of the ICYC. And I think with this we can proceed to the main activities and main attention of this webinar's subject, which is the Go Green campaign. So one of the main and influential and significant activities of the ICYC started in the year 2018 with the attention of protecting the environment. And as you know, protecting the environment and fighting against the climate action is the main subject for the SDG 13. So with this campaign that we started in 2018, with the help of some young members of Asia Pacific, we tried to increase the attention and increase the importance of how youth can be helping the cooperatives to finally help fight against the climate action. We tried to put this event in the International Day of Cooperatives, where everyone is talking about cooperatives and different activities, so that we can have the maximum image or maximum awareness of these activities done, controlled, organized, managed by youth in different countries. So we had 3 different elements in the Go Green campaign, or as we call it, GGC. Sustainable Development Goals as the main and highest important goals for all the cooperatives around the world. Then cooperatives, and the people who are working in cooperatives and are very happy to be a responsible cooperator. And of course, youth as the main players of this campaign. So everything that we organized in this campaign was done and was managed and controlled and run by those youth in cooperatives. So we had 3 different phases for this campaign of GGC. One of them was to create awareness. It is actually very important so that members of the cooperatives are aware of the activities that cooperatives are responsible for. Sometimes we get too much involved with the business activities of our cooperatives, but sometimes then it will lead us forgetting about the social aspect of the cooperatives, which is very important. The social aspect of the cooperatives are very important because we are responsible for the life of our members. So we wanted to increase the awareness that you as a member of a cooperative are responsible for your society, for your members, and for the future generation. And also, you are responsible for the environment that you are living in. So the first and foremost important element in the GGC was to create awareness. So in 2018, we started this idea with countries and organizations in Asia Pacific. But then in 2019, we said, let's go to another region. We have Asia Pacific. We will definitely continue working with them. But then let's go to another region. And that was the region, the selected region was Africa. Africa, you know, they have super important resources and also human resources available to them. So we try to bring a synergy between Asia Pacific and Africa, so that they could come together, and then we could increase the attention for the campaign. So more than 21,000 saplings were planted, and out of these 21,000, 17,000 was exclusively for Asia Pacific, which is a super big number, and it is not enough for us. It is not enough for you. It is not enough, and I'm sure there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of resources available in Asia Pacific. So to increase this number, then it comes the 2020 year. Well, you know, in 2020, the pandemic started. So everyone was in in a shock and in a lockdown, so we didn't know what to do. We didn't know, like, are we allowed to do any kind of activities, or what is going to happen to us? So we decided to bring the GGC into our homes and also workplaces, where we go, like, we live in our homes, but sometimes we forget about adding some green elements to our living area, and also the workplace, where you can spend most of your daytime in your workplace. So we brought the idea into homes and workplaces. Another important element in GGC was to create jobs, which we call green jobs. And green jobs are very important because the more we pay attention to the aspect of green environment, green jobs, green lives, the better the environment will give it back to us. With the feedback that we will receive from the environment, we will definitely be stronger and happier in our activities. So we have created a toolkit, and this toolkit will include different types of elements of promotional materials. We can use different banners. We have a Facebook page. We have Instagram and Twitter page for the social media of this campaign. And also we have created a kind of an instructional documents where people can see and learn how to fill in the information in the banners, so that we could show the other countries and other organizations that we are doing this. You can also do this. Let's go together. And also, my secretary of the committee has also created a website for pledging the activity. So it's a very basic web page, and you can go and say that, okay, I have planted this and I have planted that, and it will be used in the social media, and we can share the feedback among our members that we have been receiving. But the hashtag for this year's Go Green campaign, we call it GGC for all. So 4 is the Go Green campaign version 4, because we started 2018, 2019, 2020, and then this year will be 2022. So it will be GGC for all. We will try to use all these hashtags in our social media channels. So this is the banner and the instructional materials and documents that I was mentioning. So you can share about the flag of your country if you are working from a national organization, or you can also logo of your organization can also be included. Then the name of your cooperative, or name of your city, or name of your organization, and also at the bottom you can also again put the logo of your cooperative. So this will be shared among our members and whoever is interested to follow this campaign. So the general steps for Go Green 4 will be: we will need to select a location. We need to have a general research, like where or how it is better, or what kind of tree or sapling it is better to be planted. We need to print that banner, so that this banner will be a image of our activity. Then the tree planting thing will be happening. Then you take a photo, you collect the data, you send it to us, we will share it among our members, and this will be a super interesting opportunity, so that members will be benefited from the information that you are providing for them, the attention that you are giving to the environment, the attention of your cooperative to the social aspect and also for the environmental materials. And the last but not least, and I believe the most important one, is about the inclusion of youth. And youth are bringing this new idea, new knowledge, and new activities to their cooperative and organizations, so that they become the main player. This is very important for us, so that youth are becoming the main player of this campaign. So this is all about the Go Green campaign. We have an email address. It will be directly to the secretary of the committee. info@youth-asiapacific.coop is the email address. You can always send your emails, send your materials, send your information, and whatever feedback that you have, you can share it with us by this email. We are also available in the social media. So I think I tried to make it as short as possible. So sorry for sending this video message. I'm actually traveling, and I wanted to have this opportunity to share it with you directly from my side, so that everyone will be benefited of this campaign. This campaign is very happy to be sharing this year's campaign with Consumer Committee, and this Consumer Committee is doing a wonderful job in providing the elements and providing the attention and importance to this campaign. So we are strong now, ICYC and the Consumer Committee. Not only that, I'm very happy to share with you that the Forestry Committee of the Asia Pacific is also standing with us. So this year we are stronger than ever, because we have two important and very strong committees next to us. So they will be helping us. And the last, again but not least, is the important organization of UNCASA. So UNCASA from Malaysia is also coming with us. UNCASA is involved in a national plan of planting trees. So in their country, they are responsible for planting 1 million trees. And UNCASA is playing an important role in doing some part of this plan. So this is actually, I think, the star moment of the ICYC, having these strong committees and organizations standing next to ICYC, and we will definitely do our best to see the maximum number of activities in the maximum number of cooperatives and organizations, and the maximum effect and help and attention that we can provide for the environment. Thank you very much. And I'm sure the secretary of the committee and also Ms. Itsumi from Consumer Committee will be able to receive your questions and also your feedback and whatever you would like to share with us. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Okay, so we had a wonderful video from Mr. Ali Reza. And I was very attracted with the Go Green campaign toolkit. We can all use this toolkit to expand our forestation and plantation activities, and we can connect each other, and we can increase the awareness of how important the forestation and environmental friendly activity is with this toolkit. So I am very interested in this Go Green campaigns activities. Yes. So we will move on to the third speaker, Dr. Muhammad Azlan Yahya, the Vice President of the ICA-AP Consumer Committee and the Vice President of UNCASA, Malaysia. In Malaysia, as Mr. Ali Raza already said, government came up with an initiative, Greening Malaysia, which aims to improve Malaysia's natural environment by planting 100 million trees by 2025. In order to support this initiative, Ankasa launched COP Care program to start their forestation activities. So Dr. Azlan will talk more about it. Now, Dr. Azlan, please give us details on how Ankasa is supporting this campaign. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Isumi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, especially for Mr. Yamakoshi, the chairperson of Consumer Committee, and Mr. Balu here, the regional director of ICA-AP, and distinguished guests and the presenters. So this is my turn, and I'll try to finish my presentation within the time given. 10 minutes or 15 minutes, Isumi?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes, but we are already running out of time.
Okay. Okay, thank you. It's okay. I try. So, Greening Malaysia, as mentioned by Isumi, is a national program by the government, and how Ankasa involved in this program, support this program through the Co-op Care program. Co-op Care is the brand for the CSR for the Ankasa. So with the to plant 1 million trees initiative. Okay, so the agenda for the presentation is I will explain briefly the concept of Greening Malaysia, what is Ankasa Co-op Care, and the objective and activities of the program, and what is the way forward. Okay, so Greening Malaysia is actually an initiative by the government of Malaysia that aims to increase the awareness of the importance of forests and to ensure the commitment to maintain forest area in Malaysia. So it becomes one of the national agenda in addressing climate change and improving the quality of life, especially for the Malaysian people. And this campaign aims to plant 100 million trees from 2021 to 2025. It's about 6 years, with the theme Greening Malaysia, Our Trees, Our Life. So in this Greening Malaysia platform, so until now, at the national level, we have planted 458,360 trees, just 1 year plus, and the total area is 33,151 hectares, and the time remaining is about 4 years, 2 months, and 3 days. So among the activities in the Greening Malaysia is more on the nursery activity to supply the what we call the saplings of all tree seeds, and the government involved with the private sector and GLC, government-linked companies, and also the Angkasa involved in this program to support the government. Okay. So next. So as we understand at the global situation, the issues of climate change, and in terms of the cooperative, the large part of co-ops are involved in agriculture activities. And as the climate change is the major challenge and highly related with the forest management, so it is necessary for the co-op to voice up the issue related climate change. And these issues become one of the world agenda through the United Nations Decade of Ecosystem Restoration 2021 to 2030 initiative. And this ecosystem restoration initiative actually to provide the to promote the United Nations environmental goals, specifically to facilitate the global cooperation, the restoration of degraded and destroyed ecosystem. So in Malaysia, next. So before I go further about this program, Angkasa Co-op Care Program, so let me briefly share with you all about the status of the forest in Malaysia. So Malaysia has 20 million hectares of forest, represent of 62.3% of the total land in Malaysia. And the forest industry also become a significant contribution to the economic Malaysia, whereas where in 2020, the forest and logging industry contribute approximately ringgit Malaysia 5.2 billion. So, and in terms of that is a contribution to the national economy, but in terms of environmental issue, from 2001 to 2021, so in 20 years, Malaysia lost 8.67 million hectares of tree cover, represent 29% decrease in tree cover since 2000. So based on this, so this is among the motivating factor for us, for Angkasa, to involve in this program as part to show our commitment in supporting the government agenda of greening Malaysia and United Nations Ecosystem Restoration Initiative. So Angkasa Co-op Care 1 million. We target by 3 years, 2022 to 2024, we target to plant 1 million trees. So 1% from the national target. So this is in conjunction of the celebration of 100 years the establishment of the cooperative, Malaysian cooperative movement in Malaysia. We are celebrating 100 years this year. And also we celebrated the golden jubilee of Angkasa last year. So in this program, we target to plant 3 types of tree. First is a forest tree, second decorative tree, and the third is fruit trees. So we are unable to plant all the forestry. So I will explain after this. So objective of this program first is to enhance the communities and agency through cooperative in planting 1 million trees. So we want to encourage the community awareness among the community and the government agencies. And second, to support the conservation of degraded forest through rehabilitation of 20 acres of forest reserve, which will be used as the site of adopt a tree campaign. So this one we collaborate with the ministry, the forestry department. Okay. The third is to support the government efforts in preserving the environment, with aims to increase at least 20% of forest area in Malaysia within 10 years. And increase the knowledge and cultivate environmental awareness to students and local communities through the publication of learning modules and trainers program, as mentioned by Mr. Balu in his speech about educate the people about the environmental. Okay, these are the 4 objectives and the activities in this program. First is education and awareness module for school cooperative. We also develop with the with the collaboration our partner, strategic partner, the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. So we develop the modules of environmental issues to educate the student. And the second is to plant 1 million trees to celebrate the Malaysian cooperative movement centennial anniversary, and adopt a tree campaign and community engagement through tree planting program. So these are 4 activities in this co-op care 1 million tree. So this is the time we start this program. First, we have a memorandum of understanding with one of established university in Malaysia, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. We start on the last year, 16 March 2021. And we also have a MOU with Malaysian Green Foundation, September, and we developed a module 1 million 1 million tree, and preparation of promotional materials, pre-launching. And this year we start on the March 20. We have a pre-launching event and a sponsorship for degraded forest and so on. Okay. So next. So this is a program. We hope the program output planting of 1 million trees to contribute in the government Greening Malaysia campaign and strategic collaboration between Angkasa and Climate Change Institute from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in publishing teaching and learning module about 100 millions. A million trees, a mountain of woods. And awareness programs through train of trainers to be implemented at school co-op, university co-op, and community cooperative across Malaysia. So next. So we also run the program to restore of 20 acres degraded forest, which will be monitored continuously by Angkasa, UKM, and Forestry Department as adopted cooperative forest. And we record the progress and growth of tree through measurement and report or calculation of how much reduction in carbon dioxide emission to atmosphere or carbon stock that have been stored in the monitored soil by the Institute of Climate Change, UKM. This is a research activities. So we together with Institute of Climate Change conduct the research. So the impact assessment based on questionnaire to participants, students, as well as comprehensive feedback before and after the program. So, so I will show you the some of the pictures that we pre-launching ceremony of greening Malaysia on March 20 this year, initiated by the spouse of Minister of Cooperative Ministry. So in the area of adaptive forest given by Minister Department of Forestry. Okay. So how to actually to realizing or actualizing the target to achieve 1 million trees planted by. First, we will involve the all school cooperative school cooperative. Now we have 2,460 school cooperatives across the nationwide. So with the membership of 1.97 million individuals. So among the activity we will encourage, so the school will plant the tree in the school compound or school areas, and also we will encourage the teachers to plant on their home about the trees. Second, and we will target the youth cooperative as Mr. Ali Reza presented just now, how youth committee will collaborate, and most community cooperative and the university cooperative to participate in this program. And the third, promotion of tree sponsorship to the public, locally and internationally. So, so we create a fund for those who want to get involved in this program, regardless how much they want to contribute. So we are welcome. So we, through the website, www.sejutapokok.com. Okay. Okay, the way forward is, so we are looking for anyone or any organization or any co-op to partner for the sustainability of the environment. So that's all from me, Isumi. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azran, for your wonderful presentation and your effort to presented in 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Yeah, in the first, I thought it is a very big goal to achieve government to plant 100 million trees by 2025. However, like there's various companies, organizations, and cooperatives, including Ankersa, which support this goal and try to achieve it together. So I think it is very wonderful, and I hope Malaysia can achieve this goal by 2025. And I believe such solidarity and unity of people toward the government, toward green environment will make an enormous power and enable themselves to achieve such a big goal. Yeah, so thank you. So, okay, now, sorry about the time. We are running a bit late, but we will have 5 minutes break so you can relax. So, so you can turn off your camera, but please do not exit the meeting. And you can have a short break for 5 minutes. So please come back here 5 minutes and we can start the webinar again. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming back on time. So let's resume the webinar. We have two speakers for the latter half of this webinar. One of them is Mr. Takashi Kobayakawa, Executive Officer of Merchandise Division in the Tokai Corp Business Federation in Japan. Tokai Corp is a business federation of consumer corps in the Tokai region and have promoted forestation activity together with its stakeholders, such as corp members, producers, and the local people of production areas. Today, Mr. Kobayakawa will give us 3 examples of forestation activities that Tokai Corp is conducting. So, Mr. Kobayakawa, please start your presentation. The floor is yours.
入りました。はい、聞こえていますでしょうか。東海コープの小早川と申します。今日は東海コープの森づくりの取り組みを報告をいたします。ちょっと同時通訳は初めてなのですが、よろしくお願いをいたします。東海コープ共有、はい、はい、次のページですが、東海コープについては先ほど少し触れていただきましてありがとうございます。東海コープは、日本の東海地方の3県で活動するコープ岐阜、愛知、三重を会員とする生協の商品の企画、開発、調達、物流、情報システムなどを事業の一部をですね、委託された連帯の組織になっています。次です。で、東海コープ森づくりの取り組みは、商品の産地での植樹を通じて、海を守る、育てる活動になっています。組合員や職員も植樹を体験し、食と環境の関わりや環境活動の大切さを実感しています。この取り組みは、おおむね2010年、11年頃から開始をしており、10年以上の歴史があるということです。でここに図がありますけれども、沖縄県の恩納村、真ん中が北海道の野付別海町というところです。あとはインドネシアのタラカン島というところの3つと取り組んでいます。で、植樹基金ですけれども、植樹産地の原材料を使用した商品に、このような地球儀をかたどったようなアイコンをカタログに添付をしてアピールをしています。植樹基金は商品の利用 1.1 円を1年間積み立てを行い、植樹基金、活動基金としてですね、苗木代や植樹エリアの管理費等に毎年役立てています。このような活動というのは、陛下以外ではなく、さまざまなところで最近は取り組まれていますけれども、我々はその10年前から実践をしてきました。次です。でこちらはですね、実際のカタログ、アイコンを使用した例になっています、紹介ですけれども、沖縄県の恩納村はもずくという海藻、北海道はサーモンを中心とした、その野付の漁協で取れる水産物で、インドネシアはエビになっていますので、それぞれカタログ、確認いただければと思います。次です。で今日は、森づくりということですけれども、サンゴも一つ生態系ということで紹介をします。最初は沖縄県の恩納村ですけれども、沖縄のサンゴ礁は、生物多様性の面でも、水産資源の管理という面でも、生態系の要と考えています。しかしですね、近年は、赤土の流出、沖縄県というのは川がないものですから、あとは、オヒトデの大量発生による食害であるとか、海水温の異常による、サンゴ礁のダメージというのがかなり問題になっています。最近ではですね、地域によっては、 そのサンゴの9割が失われたという報告もあるということです。で、最近ではですね、日本の、小笠原諸島というところの海底火山の噴火もありまして、軽石の漂着等の問題も発生しています。次です。で、こちらはですね、その沖縄県の、位置を確認いただければと思います。左で手に持っているのがサンゴでして、こちらでコンクリートの台にサンゴをくくりつけてですね、海中に植え付けていくということをしています。次です。で、コロナ禍でなかなかその沖縄県まで実際に出向く活動というのが停滞しているんですけれども、これは2年前のコロナ前の2019年に実施をしたサンゴの植え付けと、その基金の贈呈式の写真を、掲載しています。次です。で、贈呈式やサンゴの植樹ばかりではなく、その漁協の方、恩納村の漁協の方に実際にこの東海地方に来ていただいて、岐阜県、愛知県、三重県の生協の利用者の方と交流をする、主にもずくの海藻を使った料理交流みたいなことをですね、したりであるとか、あとは現状のもずく、サンゴの学習会等もしながらですね、しっかりと理解を深めていくということも進めています。こちらは実際の本数の推移なんですけれども、2010年から開始をした植え付けの取り組みはですね、今や3000本を超える取り組みとなっています。実際にこのもずくを1個購入することによって1円という取り組みはですね、このもずく自体がやはり台風の影響もあって、不良の場合というのもありますので、今後はですね、もずく以外に、例えばヒトエグサと呼ばれるようなアーサーみたいなものをですね、対象にするであるとか、いろいろ今、検討もしているということになっています。次お願いします。で、次はですね、ぐっと、北上してですね、日本の北海道野付漁協で取り組んでいる、植樹の取り組みになります。現在は、以前はですね、失礼しました。以前は質の高い漁場だった野付半島、野付もですね、近年は水産資源の減少なども起きています。その河川の周囲に木を植えることで、土が守られるだけではなくて、葉が落ち、腐葉土になり、ミネラルを含んだ水がですね、川へ流れていくということで、よって海も豊かになるという考え方のもと、北海道漁連の女性部の連絡協議会というところの、野付湾の周辺地域で植樹を始めたのが10年前のきっかけになっています。で、北海道の野付半島の位置を確認いただければと思います。道東地方というような呼ばれるような地域になっていまして、苗木は主に白樺という北海道の原生とか、犬縁種と呼ばれるような品種になっています。我々はそこをコープの森というふうに呼ぶ丘陵地にですね、毎年植樹を行っています。でこちらもですね、2年間、コロナもあって、実際現地には行っていないんですけれども、今年は6月の30日に実施をする予定にしています。我々だけではできないので、地元の森林組合の皆さんとご一緒になって進めるみたいなこともですね、毎年行っています。今年はなんとかやれる予定ということになっています。次お願いします。で、こちらも先ほどの恩納村同様ですね、東海地方に野付漁協の方に来ていただいて、北海道のローカルフードの紹介等ですね、交流をするようなこともしていまして、今年は実際に来ていただくことは難しいのですが、オンラインでの実施をですね、料理教室を実施したいというふうに思っております。次お願いします。これはもう2010年から始めた取り組みは現在6700本を超える実績に累計になっています。でやはり課題はですね、鮭、サーモン自体の水揚げがやはり減っていますので、より多く販売したくともですね、なかなかそういった販売促進が難しい状況であるということも少し付け加えておきます。 最後にですね、インドネシアのタラカン島のあるマングローブの植樹について少しご紹介します。こちらはエビを対象にした植樹基金の取り組みで、インドネシアのカリマンタンにあるタラカン島というところで実施をしています。このブラックタイガーエビの粗放養殖というのを実施していまして、この粗放養殖は、潮の満ち引きを利用した水の入れ替えであるとか、餌も実際自然任せというところでエビの環境養殖をしています。でこちらの場合、養殖池を作る際の負荷も小さくですね、集約式のエビの何ですか、養殖と比べますと負荷が少ないんですけれども、いくら環境の負荷が少なくとも、どうしてもですね、池を作るためにはマングローブを伐採することに変わりはないということになります。次のページお願いします。こちらはですね、主にマングローブを植樹をしているということで、これは皆さんご存知の通り、亜熱帯地方のですね、海岸線に繁殖する植物の総称ですけれども、池を作った代わりに同じ同等の面積をですね、こういったマングローブの植樹で埋めていくというようなことを10年以上取り組んでおります。次お願いします。でエビというのはですね、完全養殖が可能な生態ですので、そのため孵化場ですね、から稚エビの放流、収穫後すぐに加工することで、質の高いエビを出すことが可能になっていますし、その利用いただいたものに対して、マングローブの植樹にも当てていくということを長年取り組んでいます。次お願いします。この10年でマングローブの植樹は1万9000本になっています。現状ですね、課題としては、コロナ禍ということで、サプライチェーンがですね、なかなか構築が難しくなっていますけれども、商品のリードタイムを長くすることで、現在は対応しているということになっています。ここで動画を用意しましたので、ご覧ください。 はい、これで私の報告を終わります。ありがとうございました。
Okay, thank you very much for your interesting presentation. And it is very nice to see the site of sustainable shrimp farming pond and your forestation area through this video. It is very nice video. And I felt as if I actually visited Indonesia. And what is really interesting is that you cooperate with your co-op members, producers, producing companies, and the locals. So it is becoming the more and more important for retailers and consumers to be responsible for sustainable production and consumption. So your presentation gives us hints how retailers and consumers also can take part in making the sustainable environment. So thank you very much. Then we have today's last speaker, Mr. S.P. Sin, the Vice Chairperson of the ICA-AP Committee on Forestry and the Managing Director of Indian Farm Forestry Development Cooperative Limited, IFFDC. IFFDC was established in 1993 with the aim to transform wastelands into beautiful forests and preserve the environment to mitigate climate changes. It has already converted the wide areas of wastelands, and a lot of women are also involved in it. So Mr. Singh will explain about IFFDC's activity more. So Mr. Singh, please give us your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Sumi, ma'am. I will share the screen now. Okay. As far as IFDC is concerned, we are doing a lot of work on climate action, SDG 13, and our projects are addressing both the issues on climate change mitigation as well as climate change adaptation. So forestry work which we are doing on the wasteland is dealing with the mitigation part. Besides that, we are also working in the area of agroforestry and agro-horti-system, that is growing the trees on farmers' land and also fruit plants on farmers' land. So therefore, bringing the trees outside the forest and increasing the carbon stock. Besides that, climate action is also dealing with the climate change mitigation or resilience development. So that we are doing through the projects on watershed development, then capacity building for climate proofing, capacity building to the community, and also using non-conventional energy for promoting the carbon emission reduction. So first we start with the identification of the area of wasteland. Then we engage in the dialogue with the stakeholders. Thereafter, we mobilize the community, and then we engage in a participatory rural appraisal, based on which we are engaging the community and doing the species ranking, and also the utility to the community of the different species. Thereafter, we have done the formation of primary farm forestry cooperative societies and self-help groups we have made. Then we are doing the capacity building in all the aspects of the project. Thereafter, we go for the land preparation for plantation purposes. Thereafter, the nursery raising is being done by the member forestry cooperatives. Then the planting of the saplings is done. Here is you can see the plantation activity. Then women empowerment and livelihood enhancement is done with the help of self-help group formation. And monitoring and evaluation is a very important part in all the plantation activities. And this is being provided by Iffdc, giving the guidance, technical guidance, doing the review, physical audits, and leading to the course correction. Also, we have added the another interventions of water resource development and soil water conservation. So left side you can see number of ponds etc. have been made, and income generation activities such as honey bee keeping through women self-help group, then bamboo making products. Then this is the self-help groups conducting their regular meetings. Under farm forestry cooperative societies, we have about 154 farm forestry cooperative societies, and they are having 390 self-help groups under them. Overall, Iffdc has made more than 1800 self-help groups, having member of more than 19,000 members, out of which 92% are women members. So this is a model Iffdc. Then farm forestry cooperative societies are our members. Then under farm forestry cooperative societies, we have self-help groups, and some of the communities directly also connected to the forestry co-ops. So we have 152 forestry co-ops, 19,000 members, out of which 32% are women members. And up till now, Iffdc has been able to convert 29,000 hectares of barren land into forest. And we have covered about 515 villages. And at present, we have tree inventory of 10.85 million. As far as membership is concerned, besides 32% women members, 36% are landless members, and 53% are small and marginal farmers who are having an equal voice. The forestry work where we have done this plantation, it is of three types. One is in Western India, it is democratically elected local government body called Panchayat. So the common land of Panchayats. Then in Central India, we have government revenue land. In North Central India, we have individual farmer land mostly. So like this was the land, if you can see on the left side, the kind of sodic or saline soils where there was no vegetation. Now you can see the kind of vegetation that has taken place. Similarly, certain areas were waterlogged areas where we have done the plantation using the mounds, and right side you can see now the kind of forest which has taken place here, and this is home to migratory birds, to more than 100,000 migratory birds. Similarly, this is in Central India, similar kind of before and after situation you can see. Again, Central India, similar kind of plantation before and after situation you can see, before how the soil water conservation work was done, and then the plantation, and this is the present status. This is one society, forestry society, having 248 hectares of land. The impact of forestation, about 1.47 million tons of carbon is getting sequestered every year. Also, the local community is able to take yield of 21,000 metric ton of grass or fodder for their cattle. Then the community is also able to take benefit of the non-timber forest produce, such as bay leaves, cinnamon, and other things. Also, the forest is helping in reduction of the soil erosion to the tune of 134,000 metric tons per year. Also, there is a employment generated, cumulative employment of the to the tune of 5.2 million work days. Like Mr. Ali Reza was speaking about the green jobs. has provided this 5.2 million workdays of covering the green jobs, such as the plantation activities, then hoeing and weeding, the maintenance activities, also nursery raising, the different kind of activities, the green jobs are being given to the Forestry Cooperative Society members. Also, in the other areas, we are having a wildlife natural habitation. So also the forest water is conserved and it is minimizing the erratic rains. Our India's national commitment to creating additional carbon sink of 2.5 million to 3 billion tons. So that can be possible by growing forests outside the trees outside the forest also. And IFDC has started this agroforestry model of growing fast growing species of melia, bamboo, etc. on farmers' field. Also, we are doing the fruit plantation on the farmers' field of banana and papaya, etc. We are doing neem trials in association with Forest Research Institute of India at Dehradun, and trials of 85 progeny are going on so that we can get a fast growing species and early maturing progeny. Every year, IFFDC is supplying about 500,000 trees to our parent organization IFCO, and IFCO is supplying this tree across the country for plantation on the farmers' field and other parts of the country. Up till now, last 5 years, about cumulatively 5 million saplings of the neem trees have been given to across the country, and these saplings are raised by our primary farm forestry cooperative societies. So they are by getting the income generation for them. Now we talk about the climate change resilience development. So addressing climate action as well as SDG 15 life on land. IFDC has constructed more than 270 check dams, constructed more than 1100 ponds, and about 1300 wells have been deepened or constructed. 17,000 hectares of land has been treated with soil water conservation. The impact of all this is there is an increase in the water table and harvested surface level, which is helping in additional irrigation of 15,000 hectare land. Also, it is helping in cross diversification to the farmers, and it is helping in the reduction of the soil erosion. And we are working on the climate proofing initiatives. So whatever water resource development work we are doing, we are now focusing on how to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, and also adopting climate smart agriculture using the kind of variety of seeds which are useful for even growing in the drought conditions. And then also we are using the installed some instruments which are giving the weather-based advisory to the farmers. So weather forecasting is being done based on that, which will help in the agriculture. Similarly, we have another horticulture plantation for covering tribal area. About 8,500 families were covered. So there, in 1 acre of a land, about 40 to 80 fruit plants are grown. Besides this, the non-conventional use of energy, renewable energy, we are providing in other social projects, solar-based drinking water units. Right side, you can see in the northeast, there were a lot of floods where more than about 20 million people were affected here, or 2 million people were affected here. So this solar drinking based water, it was helpful to the local community. They got a good water, hygienic water, which was not contaminated, and thereby helping in the no problems of health issues. Similarly, we are installing solar street lights, solar home lights, providing them LED bulbs. So all this is reducing the electricity consumption. Here you can see the smokeless stove, where the no smoke is being generated. In India, about 20 million women in the rural areas are having problems related to cooking because of smoke being generated while cooking. So this kind of stove is no smoke is being utilized in this. So entire combustion of wood takes place. So there is no smoke, and so no health hazard for them. Iffdc has got so far two awards in social impact awards in 2011 and 2015. Once in the area of environment, in another in the area of livelihood. And our societies as well as Iffdc has got Indra Priyadarshini Vikshimitra Award, which is the highest award in the field of environment. Thank you for your time and attention. I would like to thank ICA, Mr. Balu, and our consumer committee members, and our forestry committee, as well as our committee from Angkasa, and all the other participants. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, for your wonderful presentation. And I can see how much wasteland have changed into beautiful forests after several decades. And I was really impressed with efforts and achievements Iffdc has made. So I realized that for us to restore the natural environment, it takes a lot of time and years. Thus, we need to patience and continue working on. Your presentation proves that forestation has a power to not only improve the natural environment, but also our quality of life. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you. Arigato.
Okay, thank you. ありがとうございます。Now we have listened to all presentation, and it's already 5 o'clock p.m. in Japanese Standard Time, but we would like to have 2 or 3 questions from participants. And to the panelists, are you able to stay here for additional 20 minutes so we can have question and answer session and we can have closing session? Okay, so we will move on to the question and answer session. So the participants and also the panelists yourself, if you have any question and comment to other panelist or panelist, please raise your hand by using the Zoom icon. Or yeah, so then start your. I will call your name so you can start your question or comments. So is anyone has a question or comment? Okay, no question or comment. Oh, okay. So from Mr. Ridley Joseph, yeah, thank you for your yeah, thank you. You can start your question or comment.
Thank you very much, and hello to you all. I'm Ridley from Vanuatu, the South Pacific. I am very thankful that I can join in to listen to all the presentations. For Vanuatu Cooperative Movement, we are a very young nation and looking into all sorts of ways that we could help stimulate the cooperative movement and trying to encourage the movement to be utilized or channeled to all different age groups. And I don't have a question, but I have an appreciation comment to make because I listen and make a lot of notes on how the panelists from different countries have spoken up about their quest and their desire to actively involve in the forest and making the world a better place. We are experiencing a lot of effects of climate change here in our little island nations, and it is very much important or equally important to learn from you all in your presentations and to and to see how best we can localize some of your initiatives to help in the challenges that we face locally. So I wish to make this comment to appreciate all the panelists, and I made a comment in the chat group to have all your presentations if I can, so that it can help us to look into areas that we can develop. We are very little island nations surrounded by vast oceans, and we are very prone to disasters. Right now, I'm speaking, we are in our cyclone season. So we experience cyclones, we experience volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, landslides, and all. So a lot of forest issues can also be caused by natural disasters, and it's about how we respond to those disasters and making sure we get the ends meet for our cooperative members, and also getting some business done for them to be able to benefit from their cooperative. So I'm very thankful of your comments, particularly interested in the last presentation on the various ways to combat smoke, to look at different ways to encourage farming still in the business sector, especially with combination of all the consumer COPs and working towards forest development projects, especially with SDG number 13. Yes, I'm very interested in that. I also wish to make comment on the a small comment on the Japanese presentation. I'm sorry I forgot your name. No offense, but I love the way you look at the holistic view on productions, and I'm sure we can do something as well for Vanuatu in our little islands. We are 83 islands, so it's quite hard to touch base with a lot of cooperative members who are out in the separate islands. But hopefully we can make contact. Hopefully we can make contact with them to talk more on the issues that are raised. So I'm very thankful to have listened to the presentations today. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. I really appreciate your wonderful comments. And yeah, Vanuatu, I know Vanuatu is a very beautiful island with very pristine beaches. And it is also prone to natural disasters. So I really hope that we can work together to mitigate the global environmental crisis, and so we can protect such a beautiful natures. And I really want to visit Vanuatu in the future. So thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, so is anyone has any other comments or question? If no one has, I will also send you a questionnaire to you. So maybe you can, if you have a question or comments, you can put it on that questionnaire. Mr. Singh,
Yes.
do you have any
Yes,
comments?
I just wanted to suggest a few things. One is like Go Green is doing a lot of good work in Asia as well as now in Africa also. So we are also doing a lot of plantation activities within the country with the help of our parent organization also, IFCO. So it will be good if Go Green and Iffdc and IFCO, under the aegis of like our Forestry Committee, we can join hands and undertake some plantation work together under your banner of Go Green, so that it will give momentum or impetus to the movement which you are carrying since 2018. Secondly, we would also earlier we had a video conferencing with Angkasa and ICYC. So there also Angkasa had shown willingness to see some of our primary forestry cooperative societies, because forestry cooperatives are there are not many forestry cooperatives across the world. So maybe how they can introduce the forestry cooperatives in Malaysian cooperative environment. So if you would like to again invite or refresh the invitation, so that how we can work together, or they can increase the number of such forestry cooperatives in Malaysia as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Singh. Yeah, I also hope that we can work together and increase the number of forest committee, and also like maybe we can work together, even though we are in the cooperative in the different sectors. So yeah, I hope we can expand our forestation activities more and more. Okay, so thank you very much. So I would like to move on to the closing section. So, so Mr. Yamakoshi will give us a closing remark today. So he is the chair of the ICA-AP Consumer Committee. So Mr. Yamakoshi, can you give us your closing remark?
Thank you, Itsumi. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar today, which is held in collaboration between the Consumer Committee and Forest Committee and Youth Committee of ICA-AP. I am Akihiro Yamakoshi, Manager of International Relations Department of JCCU and the Chair of ICA-AP Consumer Committee. Today, 5 people presented on the theme of what we can do for forest. As all you know, forests have many functions, and deforestation has to lead many disasters, including climate change issues. The issue of climate change is a global challenge. It causes serious disasters, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region. Today, discussions between the 5 speakers and many of you have given a lot of tips on how to address this issue. I also believe that we have learned that by working together, the several committees of ICA-AP can contribute to the international development of the cooperative movement. Again, I appreciate you and attending this webinar today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Yamakoshi, thank you very much for your message and sum up of today's webinar. Now, I would like to express sincere gratitude to our 5 wonderful speakers for your fascinating presentation and everyone who have joined this webinar with us today.